EIB. If you'd like to email your host, the address is rush@eibnet.com. I'm going to go to the phones here rather quickly since I monopolize most of the hour with monologues and information. The interesting little paragraph here in a wire service story that, you know, if you don't know what you're looking for, and if you don't have the proper sensitivities, this thing could just skate right by you. It's an Associated Press report. Tipped off to rumors that a Secret Service agent caught Clinton and Ms. Lewinsky in a compromising position, the White House ordered the agency to find out whether any agent had seen anything suspicious. That enabled Clinton's advisors to quickly denounce a newspaper story in the Dallas Morning News that said an agent was cooperating with Starr, and the newspaper then killed the story. Now, most mortals reading that would not pick up the salient. You know what the salient is? You're at the White House. You're minding your own business. You're not bothering anybody that moment. And all of a sudden you hear that the Dallas Morning News has got evidence from a Secret Service agent that the president and Lewinsky were seen in a compromising position privately in a study off the Oval Office. And what do you do if you're David Kendall? Well, you have to determine whether it's true. And therein lies the trap. How do you determine whether it's true? Do you call the president? No. You call the Secret Service. Now, my point is this. If it's not true, they don't need to call the Secret Service. If they believe, if the president is telling them, never happened, Dave, I'm telling you, there was never a time, I don't know what this is all about, but I wasn't there. Didn't happen. If the president is telling them he was never alone with Monica Lewinsky, because that's what his definition says, don't forget, so why are they calling the Secret Service? What the hell is going on here? Is there any truth to this? They didn't call the Secret Service. What the hell are you guys talking about? Shut up. They don't want it. They asked the Secret Service, is there anything to this? I mean, the bombs are dropping. You know, these guys are in the bunkers, and they're just, as each bomb drops, they go into action. But that little paragraph here proves that there was something suspicious enough to at least investigate. If he was never alone with her, why have to call the Secret Service? You can issue a denial flat out. It didn't happen. He was never alone with her, just as he said in his deposition. But no, they called the Secret Service. Again, we boil down to the truth, and apparently not even the president's own people believe it. Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota. This is Carl. Glad you called, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Rush. How you doing?
Fine.
I just had a quick question here. Well, the press is not really on the president's side on this one too much, I don't think. Or at least you seem to indicate that they're on board finally. Why do you think that he would leak, or sources close to him would leak that stuff if, you know, the press knows who their sources are? Are they going to take them seriously if they know they're coming from the president? Or?
Well, no, the strategic reason for, look, they don't care about the press here. You guys, you're going to have to understand something. This is not about whose side the press is on. This is about the presidential derriere not going in jail, not being put in jail. That's really what's at stake here. I mean, we look at this lightheartedly, and they see the poll numbers at 80%, and people don't care, and it's a joke, but it's not. The White House, I will guarantee you, is not, they see the poll numbers and they go, phew, because they know that the only way he's going anywhere is via impeachment. He isn't going to quit. He's telegraphed that he's never going to quit, and if he does quit, he's going to take a lot of people down with him, as Stephanopoulos so indicated yesterday on the Sam and Kofi show. They've got one defense open to them, and that is to somehow tarnish the investigation. It's no different than what Johnny Cochran did with the O.J. defense. The O.J. defense was not that he didn't do it. It was, you can't trust the investigators. The O.J. Simpson defense was that Mark Furman was a racist, and racism is worse in America than murder. And they found a gullible, stupid jury to buy it. And that has always been the Clinton defense. The Clinton defense is always to deny and then attack the accuser, no matter who the accuser is. In this case, this happens to be Starr. So the reason the White House would leak is twofold. One, to lessen the impact of the information coming out from some other source other than a leak, or to put the leaks out and then enable their campaign of destruction against Starr to go forward. They leak the information and they send Ann Lewis and Begala out to decry all these illegal leaks. This is a battle that, in essence, is being waged for public opinion. They know that no Congress is going to impeach a sitting president who's got 75 or 80% approval. Hell, this Congress isn't going to. They know that no Congress is going to impeach a sitting president 60% approval. They got to keep those numbers up. And so they're tarring and feathering Starr, and they're not. They know that journalists are not going to give up the source of their leaks. Journalists go to jail to protect their sources. And I don't say that they're the source of all leaks. I'm just telling you that the leaks that everybody's talking about now are serving to disrupt the Starr investigation. He doesn't want these leaks out there, contrary to what everybody thinks. Here's Anthony in Miamisburg, Ohio. Welcome to the program, sir.
Midwest blue collar, ultra right wing dittos from a first time caller.
Thanks for your call.
I had a quick question and then I have an answer for your secret man in the right wing conspiracy. My question is, with Boris Yeltsin threatening to take the Third World War if we bomb Iraq, should we take this guy seriously? Because if he's going to be on Iraq's side, then what does Saddam have to fear?
Well, you got it. I mean, yeah, you of course have to take it seriously anytime a foreign head of state makes such a statement. You have to take it seriously. You don't take it seriously at your own risk. But then you assess it after so doing. You have to understand who's running Yeltsin. If Yeltsin's talking this way, you have to understand who's running him and what would be the purpose. And clearly, I think the name, what's this guy named Primakov, Yevgeny Primakov, no friend of ours and a huge friend of Iraq's. Sam Nunn was on television the other day, and he said that he thinks the threat of accidental nuclear launch by the Soviet Union is greater now than it has ever been. He says we face perhaps a greater risk than we did in the Cold War because the chance for an accident over there, as discombobulated as they are, is greater than it's ever been. So anytime a foreign head of state says anything, you take it seriously. No question about it. Note, by the way, speaking of Iraq, that the Saudis said you cannot launch attack planes from air bases, your air bases, in our country. So William Cohen says, that's all right. We don't need those air bases in your country. We can launch our attack strike from anywhere. We can do it from our aircraft carriers. So we have one ally now in this Iraq mission, and that's Vice President Tony Blair. And beyond that, it looks like we're on our own. Charles Krauthammer, again, nice piece. The only objective of any further Iraq mission ought to be to take out Saddam. Anything else is a waste of time. Got to take a break, folks. We'll be back. More of your phone calls in a moment.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Hey, would you buy better grades for your child or teenager if you could? You heard me right. From a D to a C, even a B to an A. Well, the phonics game can teach your child or teenager the fast, fun secret to better report cards through superior reading. Teachers will tell you, students who read better have a huge advantage in school. They read faster, retain better, and test taking becomes easier. Well, that's what the phonics game promises to do. Better grades through superior reading skills. In fact, the phonics game promises a one full letter grade improvement on your student's next report card or your money back. And if you're wondering why no other reading program promises better grades, it's because they don't teach reading the fast, fun phonics game way. I know. My niece plays it, and she loves it. Look, all students are different, but the promise is the same. Better grades or your money back. And order now for your free comprehension game. The number to call is 800-243-READ. 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 Ricola.
Pleasant tasting Ricola. Nature's way of calming coughs and soothing sore throats around the world for over 70 years. Ricola is the original herb cough drop from Switzerland. A unique blend of 10 organically grown alpine herbs and other natural ingredients. Ricola, natural, effective cough and sore throat relief.
Ricola.
Also available in sugar-free natural herb throat lozenges. Use Ricola only as directed.
Here's a message from your little country dealer in Bailey. Do yourself a favor, give a listen to me. If you're looking for a dealer, here's the man that you should see. He's really big on service, he's big on quality. He's the little country dealer, he's right for you and me. You know, when it's time to buy a used car or truck, you have to know the dealer you're buying from cares about you. Well, that's James Finn Chevrolet, your little country dealer in Bailey. James Finn Chevrolet's got a great inventory of used cars and trucks. Ford, Chevrolets, Buicks, Pontiacs, Cadillacs, you name it, James Finn Chevrolet probably has it. And the prices, they're little. He's really big on service, he's big on quality. He's the little country dealer, he's right for you and me. James Finn Chevrolet, Main Street, your little country dealer in Bailey. Big in every way except the price.
In today's busy business world, McCain Employment Services saves you time and money.
I make one phone call. I tell them what my needs are. Their representatives come to my office. They find out exactly what type of personnel I need. They get the job description. They provide the screening, the training, and all the assistance.
When you need temporaries, call McCain Employment Services at 527-8367 or 735-5200. When you need a cool off or warm up, the people the folks in Goldsboro and Wayne County have been turning to for the last 14 years for the heating and air conditioning needs is Yesco. Yesco is an independent Lennox and CP&L quality heat pump dealer, and they can install gas packs, heat pumps, gas furnaces, and hot water heating systems, whether they're residential or commercial. Yesco provides a full line and sells and services all brands. See Larry or Ken Duran for a free estimate. Call 778-7078. Yesco on Highway 70 East across from Wilbur's Barbecue, Goldsboro.
WGBR.
On the cutting edge of societal evolution, Rush Limbaugh serving humanity and executing assigned host duties flawlessly. Zero mistakes. To Westchester, Pennsylvania. John, hello, and you're up.
Yes, hello, Rush. Great to talk to you. Love the program.
Thank you.
Get right to the question on the Stephanopoulos comment, which I picked up on yesterday on Sam and Koki. Now, I may be wrong, but I interpreted that to mean that the administration was threatening to come after members of the press. They're the ones who are doing the investigating. And then Sam, I think that's why Sam expressed incredulity. And then at the end he said, as you remember, let the games begin, is kind of with a certain gleam in his eye. Now, am I wrong, or are both interpretations open? Or
Well, I think both interpretations are open. I don't think the Clintons intend to leave anybody standing.
Yeah.
If it is individual members of the press,
Well, I think that's
if it's Republicans, if it's Starr, if it's... look, they've got the ability to gather all the data on any citizen they want if they're willing to use it.
Yeah.
And they do have 900 FBI files of some hot, top Republicans. From
But who
previous,
else is doing the investigating except the press?
Well, Starr is, and the press. I don't
Yeah,
care if you.
okay.
I don't care if you include the press. But let's look. Where this ultimately goes is to the House of Representatives. Remember, he's not going to quit, and no, he's even if he's indicted, I don't think he'll be indicted. I think if Starr doesn't think he'll be an unindicted co-conspirator. This has to go by statute now. This has to go to the House of Representatives, where guess who will preside? Republicans. They're the majority. So there's no question this is aimed at anybody who would take the legal steps necessary to force Bill Clinton out of office. And right there are Republicans. And I have no doubt that they'd tar and feather anybody in the press they had to, too, if it meant staving off this effort.
Yeah, that's certainly true. I just thought in the immediate future, it's the press that's his problem, not just the Republicans. But
Well, I'm glad Sam took it that way. If Sam took it as a challenge to the press, well, let the games begin, then fine, we're going to have even more fun. I've thought all along that Starr is making the wrong people mad. Clinton is making the wrong people mad. Not even John Gotti was foolish enough to rip the federal prosecutor and rev them up even more. But now you've got the Betty Curry story on Friday in the New York Times, and the administration did its best to paint the New York Times as nothing more than a tabloid publication by trotting out lawyers. That's BS. There's nothing to that. It's an erroneous report, another mindless leak. If you read the New York Times lead editorial on Sunday, they think the end game's already begun. I mean, they think it's only a matter of time. Lead editorial Sunday New York Times was I thought, instructive in the sense that so many in Washington are guided by the New York Times, the paper of record. And that editorial was pretty much, okay, this is it. The end game's begun. It's only a matter of time for you, Mr. President. And now Starr, this attempt to trash Ken Starr, if he needs to be motivated anymore, this will do it. I don't know that he does, but they're making enemies of the wrong people, and they're doing it freely, and it all adds up if they feel confident that they can squelch all this with the threat to destroy as many other lives as they think they have to in order to save their own. Who knows? Ann Arbor, Michigan, Rain or Ryan, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. You're next.
It's Ren. Rush, how you doing?
Fine, thank you very much.
Good. I think the attack on Starr, the independent counsel Starr, is doomed, as you're already showing from your first hour. There's already holes appearing. The leaks are shown to be emanating from the White House. But this attack by Big Al and all the other shills need only work through the end of the day Wednesday this week.
Okay, go ahead.
The objective, at least it's an interim objective they would have, would be to raise enough clouds of dust and smoke and anger at special prosecutors so that Janet Reno has cover to deny an independent prosecutor on the Bruce Babbitt affair. That's due Wednesday. If enough people are revulsed by special prosecutors, she has the cover not to appoint one.
That's a good point. Good point.
May I make one other comment?
And they do fear an independent counsel with Babbitt because that then gets to the campaign finance scandal, which is really, when you get down to it, and one of the most frustrating things about this, and I've said this from the very beginning, my good friends, one of the most frustrating things about this is that I really regret that it is this story that finally brings this scrutiny to Clinton's MO and modus operandi. The campaign finance scandal is where the real violations of our nation's laws took place. Money laundering, selling influence and policy and so forth. That was outrageous, and the fact that nobody could get themselves worked up about it was always a very frustrating thing to me.
It's going to get exciting on a number of other fronts. Let me expose one lie that the press has not picked up on yet. After Clinton came back from his deposition in the Paula Jones case,
yes,
Hillary went on record as saying that the next day, Sunday, they spent the day cleaning the closets in the White House, which, of course, is a Freudian slip in its own right. That was the day that Bill Clinton had Betty Curry over. So Hillary has been caught in a lie, a big one. They were
they could have done both. I mean, 24 hours in a day here.
Wait a
minute. Let's not go off the deep end. I mean, you can. I don't think they clean out their own closets anyway. That's what you have numerous stewards and staff and sort of do that kind of thing. But she could have done both. I mean, if they really did it, if they really cleaned out closets, they could have done it in the morning, could have done it in the afternoon, could have done it at night. Betty Curry could have taken an hour or two. Who knows how long she was there? They could have done both.
Rush, keep at them.
All right, we'll do. But that's, you don't want to go so far off the deep end here that you discredit other things that you might hold as opinions. In Chicago, Jim, hello. Welcome to the EIB network.
How you doing, Rush?
I am fine, sir.
Rush, I just want to say, let's not give up on the American people. You know, our whole philosophy is the belief in the American people.
Yes.
If we give up on them, then we're no different than the liberals are. We're falling right into their trap. This was Ronald Reagan's whole point. This is our whole philosophy.
I haven't given up on the American people.
Last week you sounded kind of down, and all of the people who are calling sounded kind of down because the polls are up.
Oh, contraire. No, not me. I think I totally understand it. Well, I understand what. In fact, I'm going to tell you something else. To show you the shape that America's in, can you name for me one other Democrat who will be president in the future who could get away with 1/10 of what's gone on here? No. No. Can you name for me any Republican who could get away with 1/10 of what's gone on here?
Colin Powell.
Maybe.
That's.
But I don't even think he could, because
I don't think he would. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't believe he's that kind of person.
I understand we're speaking hypothetically. My point in asking these questions is that it is Bill Clinton personally and his whatever it is that connects emotionally with the American people that I think is unique. I really, I don't think that this represents a new change in presidential politics. I just don't believe that it is going to be axiomatic that every president in the future can publicly cheat on his wife with 21-year-old interns and have the American public approve of it every time, in greater numbers, every time they're asked. I think it's unique to this particular situation. All of the factors that comprise the Clinton presidency make it unique. And that the one thing, and I joked about this, but I don't think that you can ridicule it too much, because I think there is a substantive basis here for it. So much of presidential politics is wrapped up in the economy and people's perception of their own prosperity. And it could be no more than a little selfishness out there. Look, I'm doing well. I associate the country doing well with this guy being in the White House. While you may cringe that the Republicans in Congress are not getting credit for their role in helping the economy rebound, keep in mind that it works both ways. Presidents get blamed when the Federal Reserve does something to ruin the economy. Presidents get the credit when the economy is great. It's easier to credit one guy than because you vote. Everybody votes for one guy or another. Members of Congress are elected by a relatively few people, number of people in their own districts, far different than a presidential vote. And so the economy is a key factor here, no matter how much it might bother you. It's only one. It's not the only factor. But if you want to comfort yourself about the status of our morality and as a society, I can't think of another. You think Al Gore could be getting away with all this? There is no way on earth Al Gore could be getting away with it. This is a once-in-a-century type of president. He said that once, and I think in more ways than one, he's right. We'll be back. Folks, you are not going to believe this. Now, you've heard me talk about this incredible snappy video snapshot from the scientists at Play Incorporated. It's the amazing gizmo that puts pictures of anything into your computer. Well, now they've invented a new Snappy. It's even better. The quality of these new pictures is literally stunning. And with a price of just $99, now everyone can afford to get Snappy. If you have a PC, this is the one add-on you must own. See the new Snappy today at your computer store. You will not believe your eyes.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
It's time for a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR. More efforts to curb teen smoking. Governor Jim Hunt has signed an executive order that directs the Division of Alcohol Law Enforcement, along with the Department of Crime Control and Public Safety, to lead the state's efforts to curb tobacco use by teenagers. In the executive order, Hunt directed ALE to develop a comprehensive approach that focuses on both education and enforcement. They will coordinate with local and state agencies to educate businesses and teenagers about the law by expanding existing education programs and enforcement efforts. Enforcement officers will focus on establishments that have a history of selling tobacco to minors. The executive order means that ALE will now be eligible for federal funds to help fight teen smoking. Authorities have arrested a teenager in connection with the robbery of a pizza delivery man. 18-year-old DeMar Worrell of Mobile Circle has been charged with felonious attempted armed robbery after allegedly holding up a pizza delivery man, 21-year-old Jason Hart, in the 400 block of North Carnegie Street. Hart told authorities 3 black men approached him with baseball bats and demanded money. Hart was not injured. Deputies are still searching for the remaining 2 suspects. The chairman of the State Board of Education, Phil Kirk, will be in Goldsboro this week. He will visit 3 schools tomorrow and meet with school board members and administrators. The meeting with school officials begins tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the boardroom on Royal Avenue. After the meeting, Kirk will visit North Drive Elementary, Norwayne Middle, and Belfast Alternative Schools. Following his school visits, Kirk will speak Wednesday at the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce annual meeting at Lane Tree Golf Club. The Wayne County Economic Development Commission has voted to go industry hunting in Japan. Local officials say they want to meet with prospective companies if appointments can be arranged.
The trips will be paid for with funds from the Goldsboro Committee of 100 instead of tax money. 11 companies have been called so far to arrange appointments, but no final arrangements have been made. Wayne County social service officials say over $5 million in absent parent money has been collected in Wayne County since the inception of the Most Wanted poster. Absent parents are those who initially can't be found but later are and forced to adhere to warrants and existing court orders for child support payments. That's a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR.
Well, a little upper-level disturbance that moved by just south of the area earlier today is headed off to the southeast now. That's going to leave us with partly to mostly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll be seasonably mild with light winds from the northeast. Look for a high around 50 to 55. Tonight, mostly clear, calm, and chilly. We'll have lows overnight in the upper 20s to low 30s. Then on Tuesday, we'll start the day with sunshine through about lunchtime or so. After that, a few more clouds streaming in from the west. We'll have highs tomorrow around 53 to 58. I'm Mike Moss at the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR. In the monologue in the next hour, we're going to get us some other news items that are occurring out there, ladies and gentlemen, things that you might find interesting. Spend the remainder of this hour on the subject at hand. Wall Street Journal today retracted its report of last week, which said that White House steward Bayani Novus told a grand jury he saw President Clinton alone with Monica Lewinsky. The Wall Street Journal had said that Novus told Secret Service personnel he saw Clinton alone with Lewinsky in a White House study, but the newspaper says today that Novus made the opposite claim to a grand jury. The newspaper did not offer an explanation for the mistake, although it carried a quote from its managing editor, Paul Steiger, saying, "We deeply regret our erroneous report of Mr. Novus's testimony," unquote. The report was among a series of published accounts of grand jury testimony citing unnamed sources, which prompted lawyers for Clinton to accuse Starr of allowing illegal leaks to the news media. Now, I don't know Paul Steiger, I don't know Wall Street Journal, except the editorial staff. Editorial page staff. I'm wondering who they could have gotten a leak from that would have made them run with this. See, I don't know, but as suspicious as I am, I wouldn't doubt that somewhere in the president's defense apparatus, they leaked this erroneously. Hey, you know what? One of the stewards says he saw Clinton, told the Secret Service agent, saw Clinton alone with Lewinsky, compromising situation. And the Journal ran with it because they thought the source was impeccable, obviously. And then they have to retract it. And then this allows a gala et al. To go out and rip on Starr. But just ask yourself, why would Starr's office leak something they know is untrue? I mean, you got to know that's going to come back to haunt you because the witness can speak. The witness who's being lied about can run out to say, "I didn't say that in there. I said just the opposite." It would really serve you well to be suspicious. Now, from today's hotline, 3 reporters from U.S. News and World Report in a most recent issue write this, quote, "Long before Monica Lewinsky boarded a plane for Los Angeles, Attorney William Ginsburg made sure that CNN was aware of the important news event that would be unfolding when Lewinsky completed her journey home. A CNN producer said that they were told to expect Lewinsky to hug her father. That happened. In L.A., Ginsburg has routinely tipped reporters in the morning as to what time he would be leaving the building for lunch and told a camera crew at what restaurant Lewinsky and he would dine." So he's working with CNN, huh? Follow this. Chester James Carville declares war on Starr on Meet the Press. David Kendall and Ginsburg, that's his lawyer and her lawyer, join forces and trump up allegations of misconduct against Starr. Then at Clinton plant in Congress, John Conyers trumps up allegations against Starr and demands an investigation. And CNN falls right in line and puts together a 1-hour special attacking Ken Starr. Want to talk about conspiracies? I'm only surprised, now that I look at it, that Vice President Tony Blair did not demand that Ken Starr step down. Surprised that he didn't say that. Here's Frank in Libby, Montana. Hi, Frank. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Rush. Dittos.
Thank you.
Really quick, I'm just wondering if our lack of support around the world for going into Iraq is directly linked to Billy's private life problems.